All right, here we go. The original three-set close brought to you with this awesome multicolored background. So here's what I'm going to go through as I go through and talk about the three-set close, and just to build a little credibility. These are my career statistics when it comes to signature sets and ultimate sets. And I want to preface this three-set close is the simple three-set close. And it is made to sell signature sets. This is not the best three-set close for selling ultimates. I'm going to tell you that right now, as you can see with my statistics right there. And this is really, for me, the first three-set close I ever learned. And I actually still think it's the best one. For a newer rep who's learning the three-set close for the first time, or for somebody who is first summer, first year. And this is the close that I used for my first $150,000 of personal sales, was this exact three-set close. So I just want everybody watching this to picture in your mind, what if for you, 2 out of every 5 sets you sold was a signature set? Okay, that is what these statistics right here, this is what this is. What if for you, 1 in every 3 customers this push period or this summer or this year spent over $1,000 with you? Okay, that's what it ended up being for me. And what if there was a 99% shot that when somebody buys Cutco, they're keeping it? How would that make you feel? So just imagine these scenarios, because that's what this close got for me, and has gotten for me my entire time selling Cutco. So if you could grab a few pencils, here's what I'm going to go through. Okay, I'm going to go through a why with you. I'm going to tell you the story of the three-set close. I'm going to give you the three-set close, and then at the end, I'm going to give you a little secret weapon. So first things first, I want to go through is I'm going to tell you a story, not about Cutco, it's about crayons. Okay, Crayola. This is the original, okay, box of crayons. Came out in 1903. Well, over the years, they added more colors, right? As things got more specialized and more nuanced. And there started to be all kinds of variations until now there's over 200 colors, right? And at first it was very basic. Well, now if you wanted to buy a box of crayons, you could get the ultimate crayon bucket. It's over 200 crayons, all different colors, okay? And Crayola realizes not everybody needs the whole thing right away. And so what they did was they came out with an in-betweener set of 64 colored crayons. It's all of the favorites from the 200 pack, not all of the niche knives, right? Or colors, but it is the favorites and kind of the like in between. And then of course, there's your basic box of crayons right here as well. So little Johnny, if you were to get a box of crayons today, do you think that you'd be more the basic box of crayons, the ultimate bucket of crayons, like everything? Or would you be more kind of like the in-between, favorites pack of crayons right there? Oh, you would say the in-betweener pack. That makes a lot of sense. So what I want you all to see watching this video, okay? Cutco is this. This is the story of Cutco. If you don't know the story, okay, this leads me to point number 2. If you don't know the story of our sets, it's really hard to sell them, okay? So one of the tips that I give people all the time is you don't have to have a script memorized to do a perfect three-set close. What you have to memorize is the story. You have to understand why these sets even exist. How did we get to these sets? Where did they come from? Why did they make a signature set? They wouldn't have made it if it didn't solve a problem. What was the problem? So instead of memorizing the script, understand the story. Facts tell, stories sell. Okay? So here's the story of the signature set. Here's the story of Cutco's 3 sets. Ready? And this is the close. That's the thing. This is the close. So this right here, Mrs. Jones, this is our basic set of Cutco. All right. This came out in 1949. It was the original set of Cutco, first set of Cutco they ever made. It's all the basic tools. For 70 years, this was the only set of Cutco somebody could buy. Okay. Well, over the years, they made more knives. Makes sense, right? Things get more specialized, things get more nuanced. And now there are a ton of different knives. If somebody wanted to get all of them individually, they all serve a purpose. And so what they did in the year 2000 was they took they made one big set. It's called the ultimate set, the complete set of Cutco. Okay. And this is pretty much all the knives in one block. You can see your fork right here on the left. It's your basic tools. Here's a lot of the specialty pieces. Comes with the larger steak knives. It's the set that everybody wants, but not necessarily everybody can afford right away. And so this is the complete set, complete tool chest. Never have to buy another knife again. Okay. Well, after this was out for a few years, when it came out, it was the Ultimate 2000, this, that. Cutco realized they needed an in-betweener set. They just weren't exactly sure which knives they wanted to put in. And so what they did was they surveyed the customers and they found out what are the favorites of all of the Cutco customers. And what they found was these were the 3 favorite knives, okay, right here. So this is what we call the signature set. It's the middle set, in-betweener set, okay, the family set. The fork, again, to the left, that's your basic set of Cutco, the homemaker. And then all they've added in is right here. Okay, this is the hearty slicer. It's the barbecue knife, the bad boy of the kitchen. Any frozen meat, rack of ribs, tough brisket, sweet potato, squash, anything too hard that you ever thought would break your knife. That's what this one's for. It looks like a smaller knife, but it's actually the heaviest knife on the page, and it has a double edge. So that's the beast of the kitchen right there. The next one is your Petite Santoku, smaller chopping knife. Okay, you can see it's about it looks like it's half the size of the French chef right here. It almost is. It's smaller, but it serves its purpose because sometimes this one's a little bit too long and this is a little bit more practical. It's also nice to have 2 in case Mr. and Mrs. Jones, you both are in the kitchen, to have 2 chef knives. One of the most common knives that people do use. And it's also great because it's lighter. It has a Rachel Ray tip. So if you want to drag through bell peppers, potato slices, anything like that, you can kind of just like drag back and forth with the cutting board. This is my mom's favorite knife. She actually got one in a red handle, which meant it is off limits for my dad to use. He's not allowed to touch the red small chopping knife. And then they added in, of course, everybody's favorite, the cheese knife. So they left this one in there because it is the most popular individual knife. Just don't use it on Sunday. And then they threw in the shears because why not? And this is the first set that comes with the steak knives. So this one comes with the larger steak knives if you'd like. So 10 of those instead of table knives. You get to choose one or the other. And then of course, Mrs. Jones, there's the basic set here. So this is the homemaker, the original. So Mrs. Jones, when you think about the cooking that you're going to be doing for the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, which set do you think would be the most fun and yet also the most practical for you to just get right away? Would you say the basic set, the family set, or the complete set of Cutco? Probably not the complete. Some more of like, oh, the in-betweener. Got it. Great. Now, what I want to close out with is this, okay? This is what I call the secret weapon, okay? And by secret weapon, I mean it's a script. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, or I might put it in the description below, this is the script. And what I want you to see when I'm sharing this script here is it is very simple. It is called the simple 3-set close for a reason. And with it, if I go, it literally goes from page 8, okay, so the price comparison page, to the simple 3-set close. And there are some key terms in here before the customer chooses, and then right here, if they say complete set, if they say family set, etc. So I'm going to try to include these into the description below. Otherwise, you can take a screenshot of this. Here's what I want to close with. It's the mistakes I see people make. The number one mistake I see people make when they're doing the 3-set close, and I want you to understand this, you are not selling the pieces in the ultimate set, okay? The mistake I see people make a lot, including one of our best guys, Mike, is Mike has a lot of large like list orders of just the ultimate set pieces. That's not bad. That's 600, 700, 800 CPO. But the reason customers are getting just the individual pieces is because when you go through and explain the pieces in the ultimate set right here, these seem like no-brainers. These seem kind of dumb. Like, well, why would I own that if they make this now? And so what you're doing with the 3-set close is you are selling the idea of the set. Okay. You're selling the story. You're not selling the pieces individually. People love the idea of getting the complete set. They don't need to know the very individual nuance of the pieces. I think about when my mom was going to get a new car a few years ago. She was, I don't know the exact prices, but I know it's a big gap. So I'm going to throw this out there, Mom. If you see this, I know I'm getting these numbers wrong. Let's say car one was $20,000 and then the model up was $26,000. It was like that large of a gap. And she's like, which one do you think? And I was like, well, what does the bigger one have? And she said, well, it has a heated steering wheel. I said, well, what else? I was younger. I was like, it doesn't, does that worth $6,000? And she's like, well, it's not really about and what I'm realizing now that I'm in sales with whatever, it's like, it's not the individual aspects. It's the idea of having the full thing. So the mistake I see people make is selling individual pieces in the ultimate set. That's not what you're doing. That is, however, you want to show the highlights, okay? That is, however, how you get someone intrigued by it. So if you want to point out the salmon knife, or if you want to point out the boning knife, or if you want to point out some of the highlights, that's a really good idea to pique interest, because selling the idea of the set isn't always enough to make them bite it. But if you can pique their interest in it by like showcasing the highlights, that's important. The signature set is a little bit different. In this version of 3-set close, you can tell that I'm really making this seem like this is the best option. And because honestly, this to me is today's version of a homemaker. In my mind, customers can either just take care of all of it and get it done, ultimate set, or they can start off with the signature set. And I think this set just makes the most sense to start out with, unless they want to just get rid of it right away. The second mistake is you don't want to say any prices until they've picked a set. I see this mistake all the time. If you're going through the 3-set close, notice, right, when I'm going through the sets of crayons, I'm not saying, all right, so this is the original box crayons. Right now it retails for $2.99. This is the ultimate crayon bucket. This one costs $25.67. This is the 64 pack of crayons. This one's like $14. Which one do you think would be the best fit? Most people, if that's how it was set up, would say, ooh, I mean, I don't think we're going to do any of it today, but if we did, it'd probably be just the cheapest one. Because what you have to recognize when you do the 3-set close this way and without telling the prices yet, the customer, this is like them walking up and grabbing it off of the shelf. Well, when it's in their hands and you tell them one price and close on that price, it eliminates confusion, which leads to the last mistake. Keep it simple. Once you start making this into some complex script or some complex close, right? That is where you lose customers so fast. You can give an awesome demo, but as soon as you start making these overcomplicated, like they pick a set and then you start asking them, well, what color do you like better? And what about the block? Just ask for the order like it's in the script with the homemaker. Do not overdo this. A confused mind never buys. Keep it simple. KISS. Keep it simple. Silly. Okay. And just a reminder, you're not selling the pieces, you're selling these ideas. Okay. Hey, use this. I have the video. I'll link right up somewhere here. I will put the video of the simple 3-set close video that is from my channel from 3 years ago. But again, go implement this. It works almost every time. Colby in our office this morning, first time he printed out that script I just had on there. I sold a homemaker this morning using it. So that happens all the time. Keep it simple. The basic set is very basic. Sell the features, sell the highlights. We'll see you next time.